Hi there, my name is Mitch Feirstein, and I'm going to try to give you an explainer video on basic finance. I think we're going to talk about what is currency and what is fiat currency. What is a currency? A currency is a means of exchange. When you go, instead of a barter system, you go in and you transact using a currency. Now, until 1972, the United States, which is the reserve currency of the world, had US dollars which were backed by gold. Gold was an actual commodity, so you could put a price on gold, which was $32 an ounce back then, and that would give some value to the dollar. But Richard Nixon, back in 1972, took the fiat currency off the gold standard, and today the price of gold is $1,940 per ounce. It's almost approaching a new all-time high. The fiat currency now is backed by nothing. It's backed by a promise to repay. And when people realize that the debt of a government far outpaces their ability to repay their debt as interest rates continue to rise, it creates a problem with government's solvency. Solvency is a bad thing. If you have too much debt and you don't have money to pay off your debt and interest rates go up, it becomes impossible to service your debt. And this is the paradox that we run into with a fiat currency backed by nothing. So how could this potentially end? Well, the life cycle of an average currency is 100 years for a central bank. Before the US dollar in 1913 became the reserve currency of the world, British sterling was the reserve currency of the world. Now we've obviously from 1913, we're about 110 years in now, so we're over the average duration. I think that the US dollar, my prediction in 2019 was for the next coming decade that we would see an end of US dollar hegemony and some other currency would replace the US dollar. I think it's likely that this will happen. We're now seeing that oil, which used to be the petrodollar, is no longer the petrodollar. Oil is being traded in Chinese yuan and being traded in Russian rubles. This spells trouble for the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, and everybody should be taking notice. As we've seen in the United Kingdom, we've seen the currency has depreciated rapidly from the great credit crisis, great financial crisis of 2008. In fact, when Mervyn King decided to marshal some bailout programs, bailout for billionaires and bailout for bankers and bail out the post office, the currency dropped 34% relative to the US dollar. And we were in a continuous 130 zone from 2008 out until about 2020. Then along came Rishi Sunak's government recently and COVID and Boris Johnson, and they started printing money again. And that's when we've taken another dive in our currency. Things don't look good for the sterling currency right now, and I expect that the sterling will go lower. But it impacts your ability to buy goods and services and impacts what you can buy in the supermarket. That's why these inflation numbers are very significant. So if the value of your currency goes down, the costs when you go to the supermarket go up quite a bit. And that's why we're having the worst cost of living crisis in the history of the United Kingdom right now. And it's all because of debasement of the currency and too much debt that's non-productive.
Good.